2019 World Gymnastics Championships. Montreal actually sits on an island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River, and if you are a world traveler, you got to put Montreal on the bucket list. Beautiful place and great host for these World Championships. And here's your start list for the balance beam finals. We can see Japan has got a couple finalists in there. Morgan Hurd, the new all-around world champion, will be competing as well. And the lady that she battled out for that gold medal, Ellie Black from Canada, the hometown favorite, will be in as well. And the balance beam is always tough, and we saw it in the all-around finals, Nastia. It was tough for these athletes.
It was, and you see right here, did an amazing job staying on that beam, really fighting till the end. The judges were a little generous, in my opinion, with her score.
That's actually a whole half a point if you grab the beam, and then she had a whole lot of stuff going on afterwards. I agree with you, Nastia. I thought it was a bit overscored.
And Morgan, again, right here, didn't have her best routine, was very wobbly, pretty much on a lot of her skills. You could tell the nerves were getting to her. This is that one event that can't show nerves. You see a big wobble there as well. But she was able to hang on, which ultimately helped her win that gold medal in the all-around competition.
Elena Yeremina comes out. She will be in this balance beam final as well.
She won the bronze medal in the all-around. Very young gymnast, her first senior world championships.
Possibly the next big Russian star. We may be absolutely seeing her coming out party right here.
Well, her coaches say that she's not just going to be a member, she's going to be a leader of this team down the road.
All-around silver medalist representing Canada, Elizabeth Black.
And this young lady has been on fire at these World Championships. Made history for Canada with that silver medal in the all-around. You heard the crowd, they love her. And she would love to get some more hardware.
Representing Japan,
Mai Murakami.
And you know, we talked about the falls, or not falls, but the struggles on balance beam. She actually, I believe, would have come out on top over Morgan Hurd, but she, on a double turn on balance beam, came off for 1 point.
Representing Japan, Asuka
The second
Teramoto.
gymnast from Japan, Teramoto. Quite the introductions. Kind of reminds you, if you're a gymnastics fan in the United States, of college gymnastics introductions. It's a lot of fun. We see Morgan Hurd, and that smile is infectious. You've seen it pasted on her face throughout these entire World Championships. I do want to go back to when we first saw Morgan Hurd, Nastia. It was at the Nastia Luken Cup, and I want the world to know, I said I'm the first person on the Morgan Hurd fan club.
I might have joined you there, John. I was very impressed with her, even as a young gymnast there. Of course, still a young gymnast here today, but I got a chance to talk to her after she won that gold medal in the all-around competition. She was just still in complete shock. Said she was waiting for her final score to come up, the final scores. She said, my legs were shaking. I just couldn't stop my legs from shaking. I was so nervous, so excited. And finally, when the scores came up and saw her name at the top of the leaderboard, just couldn't believe it.
So we are done with the introductions. The pomp and circumstance is going to wind down for these beam finals as we get ready to go. The gymnasts will be trying to calm their nerves and see if they can be a little more steady than we've seen throughout this competition. You know, you talked about the all-around finals being tough on balance beam. The qualification round, the execution scores and the overall scores were just brutal on this event.
Absolutely. It was almost impossible to get a good score. Olympic champion Sanne Wevers from Holland, she didn't even qualify, was planning on doing a 16.5 starting score, ended up getting only a 15.0. They put in an inquiry, it was rejected, but they were, as you said, John, absolutely brutal.
And here they're going to start right away in the event finals. You warm up, and then you do not get the 30-second touch, that extra warm-up that you normally do in the all-around finals. A little bit more pressure, some more nerves, and here we go.
And this is Pauline Schaefer. She's been here before. She's won a bronze medal at the World Championships on this event. She's from Germany.
Third highest score in qualification. Now the judges change in every competition a little bit. So you never know exactly what the panel is going to be like, but the head judge remains the same. Beautiful. It's called a switch ring. She drops her head back, loses sight of the beam, which is something you really don't want to do. Really cool.
You know, I watched her do this in podium training, and the first time I saw it, I was actually a little confused on exactly what that was. Had to rewatch a video of it. You know, I always love seeing gymnasts do unique skills, not the same thing every single time. Beautiful routine so far.
Gainer back salto in the laid out position.
Seems like a relatively easy dismount compared to some of them that we've seen in this competition.
Non-traditional, that's for sure.
Not as much risk. We've talked about that a little bit.
Davers did it though, with a full twist, however, in Rio.
Here's her series. Beautiful back handspring back layout. A little bit off, but manages to cover that up.
And this is a lot harder than it looks, staying up on what we call releve the whole time, up on the balls of her feet. And this is that really cool skill, side flip with an extra twist.
Hard to tell from that angle, but
look at those toes, baby. They're like talons.
So one routine in on these beam finals, and so far it's only one, but a bit more steady than we've seen so far in this competition. She likes it.
And in the qualification round, she scored a 13.433. So hoping to do, of course, a little bit higher than that.
So we're going to get another look here at some more replays. The judges working a little bit hard to make sure they get this first score correct.
There's that dismount. You want to see her hips open all the way to the end, and that was pretty good. Sometimes you see that pike down. And I have to say, sometimes the coach is a little bit more nervous than the actual athlete. Myself, now not competing anymore, when I watch, you don't have control over what's happening. You don't know what's going on in the gymnast's mind.
I think your mom had a little trouble watching balance beam over the years, didn't she,
absolutely
Nastia?
did.
And so there you go. Now that 8-0 is not a bad execution score because we haven't seen a lot of those.
Not on beam, not on beam.
So now Yelena Yeremina, double medalist at these World Championships so far. She's got a silver, she's got a bronze. She just needs to add a gold to her collection and has a tremendous chance to do that here.
Popular mount here in Montreal. A switch split leap. We're seeing a lot of gymnasts now that are doing acrobatic-esque type elements onto the beam. Beautiful, just a slight little adjustment there.
Little off there. The dismount left right here.
Oh, boy.
And that is what might cost her. That's something she might be looking back on, that dismount. Her chest was a little bit low, of course, those multiple steps. Almost not quite sure she got it completely around. We'll have to see what the judges...
Yeah, I don't think she got it completely around, but that really is going to do some damage because up until that point, you know, I mean, slight little balance checks, but as we have said, the judges here have been, it's been really hard.
And how many times have we seen a routine at these World Championships where it is a great routine and it's that dismount where they take a step and maybe a little other step and then they pike down, and before you know it, they almost have a point in deductions just on that dismount after a great performance.
Yes, it has been the case. So watch right here. She's trying to go 3 times around, so she should be facing the beam completely. I don't know.
It actually wasn't bad from that angle.
But her legs are skewed. She takes that step off to the side, then another slide. So she gets deductions for being off to the side as well as taking the step.
And she qualified in 6th place coming into this event finals with a 13.233.
And just to give you a perspective on that 8-0 or higher execution score, of all the gymnasts that competed in the beam competition here at the World Championships, there was one that scored above an 8, and that was Pauline Schaefer, who we already saw go
and do it.
And
again.
she did it again.
Yeah, the way they've been judging, I can't imagine this will be in the 8s. If she had had a great dismount, yes, but not even close.
Correct. 12.966 for Elena Eremina. The pace of play slowed here a bit by the judges. Hopefully they can pick it up the rest of the way. And you can hear the crowd cheering for their favorite, Ellie Black.
Oh, boy.
And right on that second skill, you could see she was a little bit off, but tried to maintain that connection into the 3rd skill. Great combination, just again, a little off.
Ellie was doing an American Cup a number of years ago, and she told me that the goal is to dream big and don't let anyone set your limits. She certainly didn't, because she made history, as we've said, in the all-around for Canada.
Coming up next, here's that skill that she struggled on in the all-around finals, almost coming off of the beam, but saving it. A front tuck right here.
And she does a carbon copy, but can't even hold on and is off the beam. Grabs the beam. Get her composure here for a big dismount, double pike. A great finish, but that will take her off the podium.
Well, for Ellie Black, she will have one more chance at the final to do another thing no Canadian gymnast has ever done, and that's win 2 medals at the same World Championships. She'll be in the floor final, but not going to happen here on beam for her.
Beautiful double turn, right into a full turn. Very, very difficult. When you do things in combination like that, they don't just get, it's just not 2 skills that are hard. It gets way more difficult. It's additive.
Here's that front flip that she struggled with. It just seems off and a little bit over-rotated, just like she did, Tim. You said carbon copy. It was very, very similar. But in the all-around final, she was able to hold on. Not here today.
I have a feeling she'll be doing a few extra punch fronts on the balance beam when she gets back to the gym after this competition.
I'm not quite sure. I think this might be it, but for her. I don't know if she's publicly said that, but I know that you know, she's already done a lot in the sport of gymnastics, and having a Worlds at home, I think was certainly a big deal for her in making the decision to continue on. She might continue, but
she is a two-time Olympian. She's done a lot, as you mentioned, Tim. She is 22 years old, which is starting to get up there for the women gymnasts, unless, of course, you're Oksana Chusovitina, then you haven't even gotten started yet.
You got 2 decades left. 42 years old. And, you know, I don't know if we got to say this yesterday, but I really thought she was kind of hammered a little bit on her second vault. I think she ended up 5th. But what a gymnastics icon and a hero around the world, Oksana Chusovitina.
And I think the world is going to be a little depressed when she does retire. And I mean, she looks great. I don't see an end in sight yet, but always fun to see year after year have her come back and threaten for medals is even more amazing. So the judges aren't cooperating yet. They're taking their sweet time.
But it's not going to happen for her. She knows that. It's just a formality, and you see the 12.4, the 6.7 in execution. So if she had done the routine without the fall, it would have been only a 7.7.
So Mai Murakami is the next gymnast up. She's from Japan. Tim talked about it earlier. She had heartbreak on this event in the all-around finals. She fell. She was in position to very likely win that gold medal, but became a victim of the balance beam, trying for a little redemption here.
She finished completely out of the medals, and it was close. Very nice pike front somersault. Here's her series. Pretty good. Probably a 10th in every other meet, but maybe they found a little more here.
Beautiful switch ring.
So this is where it went wrong. Survives, incurred some deductions, but staying on the beam, unlike all-around finals. She also will do floor exercise coming up a little bit later in the finals. Another big dismount, double pike. A lot of power, but a very big step and a little bit of leg control. She can land that much better. Remember Pauline Schaefer leading the way at this point, 13.533. Got to that magical 8.0 or better execution score.
Beautiful mount, switch leap right there.
When you do that with your legs straight, it's called a pike somersault, makes it infinitely more difficult and gives you more bonus tenths.
It's amazing looking at the feet of female gymnasts on beam, and they're like hands.
Yes, absolutely.
Really got to grip that beam.
Double pike. Look at the step, though. Big step backwards. But she had a very nice body position as she's landing.
So for the Japanese women, it has been 55 years since they have won a balance beam medal at a World Championships. We'll find out if Mai Murakami can break that streak. We'll get her score when we come back. Welcome back to the 2017 World Gymnastics Championships in Montreal, Canada, named after Mount Royal, a triple peak hill in its heart. A beautiful city, and it's been a wild World Championships. And for Mai Murakami, a 7.66 perfect execution. So the total of 13.066 puts her in second place. Man, the judges have got some sharp pencils. But that is only halfway through this beam final. There's our current leader, Pauline Schaefer. She's got a comfortable lead in that first spot. But some good gymnasts yet to come, so she cannot get comfortable. And Morgan Hurd, she is a big fan of J.K. Rowling. She got a congratulations from her after winning that gold. And here's Morgan's response. Oh my God, thank you so much. Your writing has truly changed my view on the world and my life. Well, J.K. Rowling wasn't done. She tweeted back at Morgan Hurd, I am truly honored to hear that from a real life hero in glasses. And that's what she surely is. That's pretty cool for Morgan Hurd to hear from one of her heroes, J.K. Rowling. And Morgan Hurd, you are a hero in glasses, young lady.
I would have to say that J.K. Rowling's nearly 13 million followers should broaden Morgan's appeal just a little bit.
This is the other Japanese gymnast, Asuka Teramoto. She did her balance beam routine while we were at break. Here's a look at a bit of her routine.
You know, the Japanese women have always trailed the Japanese men, and she said, you know, that gives us power. They can do it. Maybe we can also. She told me that at an American Cup. Round off, triple full. What we saw from the Russian gymnast a little bit earlier, but much better executed there.
Seems happy with it as she was coming off the podium. Again, this would be a huge accomplishment for the country of Japan and their women's gymnastics program to get somebody on the podium in this beam finals. Currently Murakami sitting in that second spot. Now Teramoto waiting patiently to see where she is going to fall.
Let's see if she comes close to that magical 8.0. There were a lot of gymnastics people were joking around. It's the new 10 in Montreal.
So she does not get the 8.0 in execution. She gets a 12.966. That's going to put her just outside the medals through 5 gymnasts in this beam final. And now her chance again. Morgan Hurd, do you ever think you'd be introduced as the world all-around champion? Begins her beam final.
And watch her talk to herself throughout this beam routine. We obviously don't know exactly what she's saying, but it's like nonstop.
Right off the bat, very difficult skill right here. Beautiful.
Great. She did that well yesterday in the all-around finals, or excuse me, a couple of days ago, and then once again gets that really difficult full out of the way.
And again, she's prepared. Her skills are there, her technique is there, showing a few signs of nerves. That was a little bit better than the all-around finals. Beautiful.
Definitely not going to connect those elements together, though, which would give her a slightly higher maximum score. But that's probably the best choice, and that was much better once again. You hear that tone. She has 10 seconds to get off the beam without incurring a deduction, and she's got a huge dismount prepared, going to be really close, does not make it. Full twisting double.
And that was a great routine. Unfortunately, she will have a deduction for being over time.
Only 1/10 of a point, but...
You know, but sometimes I have to say, yes, of course, you want to make it in under the minute and 30 seconds, but when you have such a difficult dismount like she did right there, it's better to take your time, to take a second, to really focus, or else you're going to be rushed and not focused and could do something very scary and dangerous, such as miss your foot, slip a little bit. So that was great.
I agree with you, 100%.
Give up the 10th to save a point.
Absolutely. And again, you know, I think for somebody like her, she was definitely a little bit surprised winning that all-around title. Comes in with a little bit extra pressure. She's competing out there for the first time as a world champion. But I thought she handled it very well. A few balance checks, such as this one right here on the side aerial.
That was really the only major one, but it was a couple at least on that one element. She had some really small ones, but it was a much cleaner routine than she did in the all-around finals.
And in the first day of competition in the qualifying round, she scored a 13.5, which she qualified into second place in the beam finals. And it could all come down to being over time, losing that deduction. We'll see now what the judges score her. But overall, she should be so proud of the week she has had here in Montreal, leaving with a gold medal in the all-around competition.
That dismount, full twisting double somersault, same one we saw Simone Biles do for so many years.
Very
really
good.
hard. Double back with a full twist.
Probably happy to be done.
She earned that deep sigh of relief.
She absolutely did.
All right, guys, I'm going to just say it. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room right here. You talked about how hard judging has been on beam. As her score comes up at 13.4, she moves into second place. And that 1/10 penalty would not have made the difference. It would have still been in second, but it would have made it very, very close. These judges on beam, they're taking a long time to come up with the scores, and they're coming up with scores that you guys seem to think, man, where are they finding these deductions? Get to it later after this routine, but what are they doing is my question as we see Liu Ting from China begin her routine.
And if there's an athlete that can challenge that top spot, Ting can absolutely do that. She is glorious on balance beam. Was supposed to do more in Montreal. Look at this combination. Wow. Was supposed to do more events, but you see her ankles taped and bandaged.
Lose that connection right there. Was trying to connect those three elements actually. Got the last two.
Here we go. Nice side aerial.
So far, she has been very clean. Not really many wobbles or balance checks.
Not getting all of the connections she was hoping for, but once again, you hear that tone. 10 seconds to get off the beam, and she is not going to even come close to making it.
Another one over time. She qualified with a 13.233. Really taking her time here.
She must have heard you, Nastia.
And a very simple double twist dismount. You see her kind of have a little bit of a hitch step there. Her ankles have been a huge problem for her. She's capable of doing a more difficult dismount. Now, in the past, if she had done a double full in Rio, she would have incurred a bigger deduction, but they have changed that rule as well. She doesn't get a deduction, she just doesn't get as many bonus points as she could have had she done a more difficult dismount.
Which is an interesting rule, in my opinion, to be able to do a dismount so easy as a double full. Don't get me wrong, it is a difficult dismount, but when you're talking about elite gymnastics, we're used to seeing athletes doing 2.5 twists, triple twists, full ins, double Arabians. So while they've changed the code of points to make some things more difficult, right here you see that double twist we're talking about. Some things they've made a little bit more simple for these athletes.
And if you're gonna do a double full though, you really need to stick it. But as you can see, her untaping. But I'll tell you that Really nice leap there.
Once again, we wait and see what the judges will do. Had a very good execution, in my opinion. So let's see if she can make that 8-0. I'm not sure. Was quite there, but.
You know, the Chinese as a whole, both men and women, had a horrific Olympic Games. Both teams coming home with only 1 medal. Almost unthinkable. Men and women both got a bronze in the team competition, but no individual event medals. The men have done great here in Montreal, though.
And Nastia, you said good execution. Apparently you were the only one, because she ends up with a 12.766. Now, that means 2 things. Morgan Hurd will get another medal, and Germany is guaranteed a gold medal on the balance beam. This is Tabea Alt. She is also from Germany. Right now, her teammate Pauline Schaefer holds the top spot.
Beautiful combo right there.
And she actually qualified in first place into this event final with a 13.533.
Tell you what, if Germany can come home with a gold and another medal as Pauline Schaefer looks on, her
Bottom right
teammate.
corner. And you can tell she's a little bit nervous. Germany has not won a women's world gymnastics title since 1981.
And that streak is over. It's just a matter of which one will be on top.
Nice leap into that side flip.
So the advantage that she had here was her difficulty score. Had a
Double tuck, really nice in the air. Knees pasted together. Had a good body position on the landing, but that was a 3/10 step for sure.
As I was saying, she had a potential difficulty score of a 15.9, where her teammate Pauline only had a 15.3. So as we said, a gold medal guaranteed for Germany. Now we just wait and see which one it's going to be.
So once again, as I said, a lot of the gymnasts here in Montreal doing these acrobatic mounts, which had pretty much disappeared from women's gymnastics for a long time. They are back in vogue. She had some errors, though.
She did. Right there, really.
That was probably her biggest.
Yep, more than 1/10 for sure. You know, and this is just so exciting for Germany. To not only win that gold medal, potentially have a possibility of winning 2 medals right here in this balance beam finals.
So a streak of 36 years for Germany of winning a medal on beam. Now the other thing that is at stake here is a streak for Japan, 55 years without a medal on the balance beam at a World Championships, and Mai Murakami is perilously hanging on to that 3rd spot with a 13.066. So that'll be, we'll need to watch that as well as the score comes in.
If she ends up in the dreaded 4th position again after the all-around, and she does. Ouch. But a win for Tabea Alt and 2 medals for Team Germany. Gold and bronze, silver medalist Morgan Hurd.
Amazing. Pauline Schaefer, she is your winner. Morgan Hurd with the silver, and Tabea Alt with the bronze. And great. I don't think Germany could have hoped for better than that. And again, you mentioned it, Tim, Mai Murakami, your heart has got to go out to her. 2 near misses, 2 4th place finishes, so close to that medal podium. She's not done. She has a fantastic job, or a fantastic chance on floor exercise, but tears of joy for Pauline Schaefer, world champion on the balance beam.
Wow, really amazing. You know, 2 medalists from Germany. It's, you know, they've always had a good program, but they haven't been one of the programs that you would historically point to. The Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, the Romanians of past, they are not in that category, and they got 2 of them. And this young lady right here, she's got 2 as well. Gold and now bronze on the beam. Silver on the beam, excuse me.
Germany's thrilled. These 2 will be basking in this moment for a long, long time. Quite something to say, Pauline Schaefer. You are the best in the world. We're going to come back.